It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I find myself waiting for every single thing in my life to align perfectly before I make some move. But today I'm going to show you why waiting for the perfect moment is holding you back and how to start taking action right now. I think that a lot of us dream of the ideal time to launch a project or start a new career or maybe whatever big leap in life you may want to take. But here's the truth. The perfect moment rarely, if ever, actually comes. Most of the time you're going to have to make it. In this video, I'm going to share actionable steps to help you to stop waiting and actually start doing to turn your ideas into a reality. Let's just be real. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap because you're telling yourself, I need the right conditions, I need more money, or I need to be more confident. And these thoughts become somewhat of a pattern of procrastination. And here's why. Our mind sometimes just has to jump because we are rational beings. So if we don't fully believe in our goal, we're going to find different reasons why we need to wait and different reasons why we are not ready to make that leap. Now, granted, there are certain times that we need to take steps before we get to a big goal, and that's valid. But telling yourself, I need $1 million in the bank before I start my business, well, it's not impossible, but might be another route. You might be able to start today and make that million before you make that million and start the business. Because sometimes you gotta have that grit. Sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable. I think a lot of times we make these excuses. I don't want to just call them excuses, but whenever we make these types of statements, it gives us too much room to give up. Like I said, I wanted to start it when I had this amount of money and I don't, so now I can just give up. You might be uncomfortable not starting it in the ideal place, but you might get there and learn more things by the time that you would have even got started. Now, let me be clear. This is not a safety class, okay? So if you want to skydive, please take the proper courses. But at some point, you're going to have to jump. Now, let's start with opportunity cost. Every minute spent waiting is a minute lost from achieving your dreams. And this is not to be like, oh, every waking moment, you need to be on that grind. I mean, I don't see why not. No, just kidding. You don't need to be on the grind every single second of the day because you do need to have time for gratitude and time to live in the present. But what I am saying is every minute spent waiting, just waiting, is not beneficial to you or your dreams. Next is perfection paralysis. Now, I've definitely experienced this. I've experienced all of these to be real. But the pursuit of perfection stops you from taking any action at all. And the reason why is because sometimes done is better than perfect. When we try to get things perfect, we start nitpicking everything. And sometimes it's better just put it out there. And if you have to adjust things, adjust it. And it might be a little uncomfortable, but you don't have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Next is miss momentum. Real progress happens when you act, even if things are not flawless. This kind of goes on that last one. These obstacles not only stall your progress, but they also rob you of valuable learning experiences that come with taking risk. There's something called being risk averse when it comes to persuasion. Sometimes you're going to have to persuade yourself to do something that you're not completely ready for because you want to get it done, but your mind is trying to make excuses. So risk adverse means you're literally like, I'm not really trying to take risks for real. That's what that means. Like, if this is a risk, I'm going to stand over here because this guy is not my friend. But what we really need to try to do if we want to get things done that are out of our normal is step a little bit closer to that risk. Now, of course, like I said, all these things come with like, okay, I can't do this if I don't have this. But the thing is, if you want this, get started on this. You're gonna have to jump at some point. We always do. Everybody watching this video has been a baby before. When you were a baby, at some point you had to start walking. And you didn't say, oh, well, I need to be about 5 years old. I'm going to have to be about 5 years old before I start walking. Or I need my 401k in order before I start walking. You just kind of started walking. To this day, you're still going to have to take different risks. Now, of course, you're like, oh, okay, that was easy. That was young. But right now, make it easy for yourself. You got it. But only you can take the opportunity. I'm doing it too. Like for this video, I was just in a bed. I'm not gonna lie, I was just in a bed about 10 minutes ago. I just got up and was like, oh, let me just put a shirt on and get going. Oh, some lip gloss too, you know what I mean? But I was like, okay, let me just get going because if I don't do it right now, I'm not gonna wanna do it later because I have plenty of things to do today. But that's just what we have to do sometimes. Sometimes you're gonna have to get your boots sturdy. Waiting on a perfect opportunity is like laying on your bed with your shoes on, talking about, oh, well, at some point today I'm gonna leave the house. But I need it to be 78 degrees outside with a wind chill of 2. That is not going to happen. You're going to have to get up and walk outside no matter the conditions. I've heard this a couple times. You're either going to have to dance in the rain or cry and make a puddle. I don't remember exactly what it is, but either way, dance in the rain is that's the idea. That's the idea. Don't worry, I got you, okay? These are 3 actionable steps to help you break free from the waiting game. Number 1, set a firm deadline. Choose a specific time, whether it's today, tomorrow, later this week, next month on the 14th, whatever it may be. Think of it right now, write it down, and treat it as a non-negotiable appointment with yourself. This deadline creates an actual sense of urgency, which is going to force you to act instead of, thinking about the imperfections. Next, embrace the imperfections because they're most certainly going to be there, okay? It's okay. Accept that your first attempt, second or third could be messy. That's going to be all right. And instead of perfecting every single detail, aim for progress. This is that done is better than perfect mindset. By starting small, whether it's drafting a rough draft, outline, or something like that, just making a basic prototype. And you can do that before the date that you set. Now, the 5-minute action rule. Set a timer. I love my timers. For just 5 minutes and start working on that task, even if it's just the planning part of it. This short burst of action helps overcome the inertia of waiting because you just jumped out there. Once you're in motion, you'll likely continue past those initial 5 moments. You probably will. I don't want you to try to do the opposite because I told you that, but building momentum with each small step. Once again on the babies, I guess I'm thinking about babies today. But babies can swim when they are born. If you throw them into water, please don't do it. Please don't say I told you to do that. But if you throw them into water, they are going to be able to swim. Think about it the same thing. If you jump in that water, you just start swimming. Just start swimming until you get there. The waves may be choppy, but you got the skill to do it. You got it. Now here's a game changer. Another bold action protocol. I tell you, I'm going to have to find a better name because I'm really not liking it anymore. But anyway, step 1. Identify one task that you've been delaying because you're waiting for the perfect moment. Step 2, set a 5-minute timer and commit to working on it, no matter what. No matter what. Step 3, as you work, list 3 small, tangible outcomes that you can achieve in this particular session. Step 4, once the timer ends, decide on one immediate next step that you would like to take. Even if it's small, it doesn't have to be major. This protocol is very important and it's very powerful because it forces you to actually have to confront your hesitation face to face, head on. And this creates new habits of action over perfection. Imagine the ripple effect, just as countless successful people have done in the past. So what are you waiting for? People do what they want to do, meaning that if you really want to get to the other side, you'll build that bridge. You'll even build the resources, which I know that you can do. Remember, although there are great circumstances sometimes, the perfect moment is somewhat of a myth. So every great achievement has probably started with a bit of imperfection. Don't let waiting hold you back any longer. Embrace progress no matter how small and start moving forward today, right now. Now it's your turn. What is one thing that you've been putting off? Share in the comments below the first step you're going to take in the next hour. And if you're ready to stop waiting and start doing, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for more actionable tips to transform your life. And if nobody's told you, I believe in you. Let's turn waiting into winning together.